Starts with definition. The starts with operator is used to check if a string begins with a specified substring. This operator is particularly useful for validating input formats, categorizing data, and filtering lists based on prefixes. It is case-sensitive, meaning that the comparison will consider the exact case of the characters. Scenarios. Example 1. Email. Domain verification. Scenario. In a registration form, you want to ensure that users enter email addresses from a specific domain, such as example.com. The flow checks if the email provided starts with user at. Formula. If condition, user email, starts with user I. Step-by-step explanation. Input data. Retrieve the email address entered by the user during registration. Condition check. The flow checks if the email starts with user at. Response. If the email entered is user@example.com, the condition returns true. Allow the user to proceed with the registration. If the email entered is admin@example.com, the condition returns false. Display an error message indicating that only emails starting with user at are accepted. Example 2. Product code validation. Scenario. In an inventory management system, you want to ensure that product codes for a specific category start with prod-. The flow checks if the entered product code starts with this prefix. Formula. If condition. Product code starts with prod. Step-by-step explanation. Input data. Retrieve the product code entered by the user. Condition. Check. The flow checks if the product code starts with prod-. Response. If the product code is prod-12345, the condition returns true. Approve the entry of the product code into the inventory system. If the product code is item 12345, the condition returns false. Display an error message indicating that the product code must start with prod-. Example 3. File name filtering scenario. In a file management system, you want to filter files based on a specific naming convention that starts with report. The flow checks if the uploaded file name starts with this prefix. Formula. If condition. File name starts with report. Step-by-step explanation. Input data. Retrieve the name of the uploaded file. Condition check. The flow checks if the file name starts with report. Response. If the file name is report_2024q1.pdf, the condition returns true. Allow the file upload to proceed. If the file name is summary_2024_q1.pdf, the condition returns false. Display an error message indicating that the file name must start with report_. Best practices for using starts with consider. Case sensitivity. Be aware that the starts with operator is case sensitive. Make sure to consider the casing when defining the prefix you are checking against. Input validation. Before applying this operator, validate that the input string is not null or empty to avoid runtime errors. You may use additional conditions to check for valid input. Use clear and descriptive prefixes. Ensure that the prefix you are checking against is clear and descriptive. This aids users in understanding the required format for their input. Comprehensive testing. Test the condition with various inputs, including boundary values, example, exactly equal to the prefix, just above the prefix, and completely different prefixes, to ensure the logic functions correctly. Document your logic. Document the reasoning behind using the starts with operator in your flows. This will help future users, or yourself, understand the logic and maintain the flow. Conclusion. The starts with operator is a powerful tool in Power Automate for implementing conditional logic based on string prefixes. By understanding its functionality and applying best practices, you can create effective automation processes that respond dynamically to specified conditions. The examples provided illustrate common scenarios where this operator can be effectively utilized, emphasizing its importance in various applications.